Happa. Hello. Welcome, everybody. ScribbleSupport 94. It's almost been 2 years. Good God. I'm die. Hello. Welcome. We're wrapping up our render style study today. So, for those of you who have been following, we began a style study way back now on ScribbleSupport 71, 72, around there somewhere, where I decided to start really dedicating to learning and solidifying some knowledge in my spongy brain, and trying to get more consistent with my work and my style, because I wasn't super satisfied with my style at the time. So we went through all that. We went through body construction, shape usage, color palette, and rendering. And so now it comes to analyzing what we like and what we learned from the render style study and trying to wrap that into our own style, or my own style. So we're going to talk about that today. It's going to be a lot of talking today, I think. There was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, artists out there. Clip Studio login bonus. Log into your Clip Studio every day, get free points, use the points to buy brushes and such. It's going from now until March 13th, but there's only 20 squares, so you don't have to do it like every day. You can afford to miss, what is that, like a week, maybe a little more than that. But just try and remember to log in when you can. Get free points. Get some cool brushes and such. Yeah. Anyway. So today, we are going to collect our finished pieces and talk about them. And thank you, Tots. Hello. Welcome. I do the things. Wow. All right. I suppose, yeah, let's try and grab just the like main parts here of each of these pieces. We'll collect them all over here. I better leave that open. I have a feeling I might need to pull from it. I guess I just pull this one without the background. Bum bum. Yeah. Oop, wrong document. I always forget how to spell this name. DKAJ Art. That color balance needs to be clipped. That is affecting everything behind it. Yep. This was Nuxie. I think it's with 2 Y's, right? Yes. God, that one's such a big difference. All right. Over here. And save that document. Alrighty. How do I do this? I guess for ease of use, let's group all these and call them raw. And we're going to copy all of these and rasterize them so that they're easier to work with. There we are. To fit all of you on screen. Enough there, maybe? You fit over here. And that should do, I think. I don't like that one. That one got a little squished. That again. Ooh. That loses some effects there for some reason. We'll do this instead. That also loses the effect. See, I'm looking at her hat here. When I merge it, didn't do it that time. Maybe I'm just insane. Oops. Let's fit you in here a little better. Don't mind if her tail gets obscured a little bit. Oopsie. I put you here. Yeah. All right, there we go. There's the 3 styles. Let's name them. I already forgot. DKAJ. And this. All right. We got our 3 pieces. Now, to reflect. Let's get what can we use as a baseline here? I did. I have one that I rendered in the middle here. Where did I put that? This one. When we did with Giz and Spadoinkle. Well, she's not rendered. She's flat colored. We did the Halloween one. This rendered. I think this is just very simple too and flat colors. Didn't I render something in the middle before I did this study? She's just flats. Oh, the outfit. Dress Uptober from Unknown Spy. Where's that one at? Where is that one at? I would have expected it to be in here. Uh-oh, I don't know where that one is. Shoot, why is that one not in the folder with all the rest? Ah, there you are. There you are. Ooh, big file. That one must still have its time lapse on. It sure do. Ah. Borger. Ooh, boy. This This looks awful now. Well, that's some proof. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, it looks bad. All right, let's grab that, and we bring it over here. Are you up here? All right, so actually, I want that without the background. The big leaf is taking up more space than it needs to. There we go. So if this is what I did before I started this study, then these three are the ones I did after. That's some differences. So I suppose let's start with a individual analysis about each one. How can I set this up? Let's put all these in folders. All right, we're going to talk about each one of these. Hey, Prosby, and Meta hit me with a burger. Can you believe it? You got a burger too. Everybody's got burgers. Slurp and stretch. Wah. Wah. All right. So, for each one, we can use this as a measuring stick. And I guess I'll just make text. There we go. You know, I thought it would come a lot more naturally to talk about these. My brain is a little hollow today. Which is weird, because I actually slept through the night. My body is just not used to that much sleep anymore. So, differences between these. Better colors. Better shadows, despite spending even less time on them. What can I talk about? Should I talk about the differences? Should I talk about... I don't know what to talk about. I really thought this would be easy. Didn't take much past flats. Oops. Talk about Borger stuff. This would be a good base, I think. Basically just flats with one shadow, one highlight, and simple subsurf. Remember, subsurface scattering, the act of light penetrating your skin and then bouncing back out. So where the highlights hit, it would light up under her skin, get that pink pink shade around the strongest area of light. Hey, Astro. Regoopen thy brain. Yeah, return to goo. Complements simple eye style, where I don't render her pupils. And looks good without line color. How do I do that alignment thing again? Oh. Oh. Oh, wow, it's been a while since I used that reference up here. That's Braun in there. I did that for Art Fight in July. Yeah, so I really like how this looks for how easy it was to do. It might be a bit less easy when I'm actually doing it myself, because this was done off of a reference picture, so I didn't really have to think too hard about where the shadows and lights would go, you know? But there's not a whole lot to think about, so I feel like it would be pretty intuitively easier than the more complex moves. So we just got flat colors with one shadow pass on the different materials. So like one shadow, one highlight, right? One shadow, one highlight, with the exception of the skin that has one extra step that is the like single stroke airbrush by the highlights. So like barely anything extra. I didn't feel like I needed to color the lines for it to look in place. That saved a bunch of time. So I guess that's the major takeaway, is looks good for how little it took. I guess that's all I have to really say about that. Maybe we make some comparisons to the old thing specifically. Better colors, better values. Faster. Makes more sense with light. Kind of just better than the old one in every way, I feel. The old one has colored lines, but I don't know, it just looks bad. I just like really don't like this piece anymore. Coming back and looking at it, I don't like it at all. What is going on up here? Why is there this like green under her hat? I want to let me zoom in. Oh, because I'm in a text box. You know, I'm not going to bother writing that. That's going to be true for every single one of them. All right, and all of these need to go in here. Yeah, so I guess the summary here. Let's make this the top layer. This is the major takeaway. We'll do this for each one of them. Good and speedy ratio of effort versus appeal. No line color. One shadow, one highlight. All right. I think that's as much as I have to say about that one. Let's talk about this one. I feel I could have made these a bit bigger. I'm having second thoughts now. Let's do this. There. There we go. Because I want to move you over here. Oh. With your label. All right, what do we have to say about this one? I think this one can almost be entirely discarded, honestly. Especially in comparison to the Constellar one. Step up from DKAJ? I think that's it. Step up from that in, I wouldn't say quality. Presentation and effort. Took many hours, but looks decent. Don't feel it was worth the time. This took me a long time. How long? We can find out. How long did that take me? I remember it being like 9 or 10 hours or something like that. I mean, I took even longer on the Constellar one, but I feel like the Constellar one actually looks worth it. I'm curious if I'll feel that way like 3 weeks from now. Because I felt pretty good about this one when I finished it, but even now looking at it, I think I need to get rid of this line color auto action. It grosses me out now. Nuxie's video file, yes, is 10.5 hours long. Took many hours, but looks decent. Don't feel it was worth the time. That was 10. Utilin, welcome. I'm doing okay. We're talking about the results of our study. Welcome, that genie problem. It's very appropriate music to be playing right now. It's from Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Yep. Now we're on new grounds. Yeah, so... Son of a gun. Hate how it takes away your, like, camera hotkeys when you're on a text box. I was happy with this when I was doing it and when I finished with it. But now that I've gone through the Constellar one, like, these transition lines are not very good anymore. The line colors, like, I hate this gradient on the line colors. It turns almost green there. That's terrible. Yeah, yeah, the line color on this is poopy. The transition colors between the light and shadow aren't very good either. Yeah, yeah. I don't really like this one anymore. I think it looks a little bit better with the background still there. Whoops, not that one. That one. That looks a bit better, I guess, because the environmental colors, like the sky and the brush, kind of take away from like why is there this like green color here? You know, now it just kind of looks more like sky reflection, helps hide a bit of that ick. It's not awful, but I don't like it nearly as much as I did when I finished it. Those redeems need a longer cooldown. Tried to introduce transition, didn't work well. Line color looks awful. Don't use auto anymore. Is there anything specifically about this that I would keep for the future? I don't think so, honestly. I still like the hat and her outfit, but that's not like part of the style. Weh. No, I mean, the last artist already had the highlights. That's not new. Do move ahead with transition colors. And we did that. Constellar uses those as well to a much greater effect. So I guess that is what I pull away from that picture is auto line color doesn't work. Move ahead with transition colors. Might look better with simplified eyes. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, these aren't ending up in the folder again. There we go. Bam, 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 bam. I wonder, how do I feel about this one if I were to take the, like, color correction layers away? What if we took the line color away, too? That looks better, I think. I think that was a bit too overwrought. Let's pull that over for reference. Yeah, that looks way better. I just added too much post-processing to the old one, to the other one rather. So let's talk about this separately. How about we set these main points apart? Why does it do that? Why did it take away my colors? I had two colors selected. And then I did something and my colors went away. Saying that now though, it looks better with black, I think. Let's do that. Those are the main takeaways from each of these. Been bald. That one had some heat on it. Why was that one so much faster? All right. So those are the big takeaways here. That I do like the transition colors, but I didn't do them super well here. But I want to move ahead with that. And the post-processing is just a bit too much. And especially that I need to just not use that auto line color anymore. It looks icky. But more so than that, let's refine that. Let's clarify that thought. What is it that makes it look awful? So firstly, it's the color choice. But secondly, no gradients on line color. I think it's the fact that it's a gradient that makes it look extra ick to me. I don't like that. All right. So yeah, I like the shadow transitions. We kept the subsurf and works well still. We did the same thing on this piece as we did with the last one, where where the light is the strongest, where the highlights are picking up, we have that slight pink subsurface scattering, light bouncing around inside the skin and coming back out. That still works here. Yeah, so I definitely want to keep the subsurf. I want to keep the transition colors, but we're not going to be using that auto line color action anymore. Yeah. Thoughts. I also don't feel like I really hit the style that I was aiming for either. Like, this doesn't look like a Nuxie piece. Maybe we should try again. I don't know how much that would help. Let's see here. Color. This is who we were aiming for, again. So they do the transition too, like I did. But it looks like they actually outline their shadow shapes. And it's the line color that turns into the transition. Here too. But this is mostly internal, just for me. But for you watching as well, do you ever feel how I do, where like I get really picky about colors going where I want them to go and like meeting the lines and being perfect? This looks great. And then you zoom in and you see like this color is going outside the line and not filling up entirely the shape that it was aiming for. This was just like hastily erased and doesn't follow the line. There's something poking out of the background back here. This like blue tealish color. Look at these shapes. Look at this. This is just like really fast brush strokes. Not caring at all about like perfection of the shape. Like the stylus taper just like didn't work right there. They just left it. Who cares? It still looks great. Like I might I need to figure out where it's important to put that time in. Cause like I would spend hours fixing all of these things, and this person didn't, but it looks great, you know? Like, do I need to do that? Look here, this isn't even all the way filled in. There's little scratches of the gray underlying color. Yeah. Man. But yeah, I don't know. I had a rough time with this one. I couldn't really identify like what it is about this that makes it look like their style. I think it's more their shapes than their rendering. But I really like this rendering. It's like it's one step up from... Let's get the other one. Oh shoot, I didn't save that in the folder that I was drawing in. Where's the reference pictures for the first subject? Here we are. From this one, it's just a little more rendered. It's a little more detailed. But why? How? I think it's mostly the skin. There's gradation in the skin. You see? So here is a lighter color, and then it's got a very subtle gradient down to like a more pink, and then there's the shadow color. Whereas over here, it's just flat. It's a flat color, flat shadow. You can see it good there too. Like the what the hell would you call that? the opposite side of the elbow, the forward front face of the elbow, the elbow pit. What is this? There's a pink shade here. And can you see that? That might be hard to see on stream. Zoom in a little. The wobble? Is it called the wobble? I can let's easier to see if I pull the colors. So here versus here. See? There's a gradient in the skin tone there. It makes her look a little softer. I think a little bit more like skin. Still only one shadow color though. This one doesn't even have any highlights, does it? Well, it does in the eyes, but not on the skin or the clothing. I don't know. I really like this style. I think this level of complexity is where I want to land myself. But I can't, I struggle to identify like what it is about this that is the reason why I like it. I don't know. But yeah, this does not this does not look like this. I did not hit the style that I was aiming for. Might need a little more evaluation on that front. This is what I got the light effect from. Yeah, maybe it is the skin. This one does the same thing. It's got a lot more going on the skin. There's barely anything going on in the hair or the clothing. It's all on the skin. She's got that gradient too. Darker on the shoulder, lighter in the middle, darker around the elbows. You can see it on the booba. Maybe the little micro details, extra folds, clothes hanging, hair flowing around. But yeah, I don't know. I love this water too. That's great. If you look at it up close, it just looks like nonsense, but that's water. I still like this too, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it still has the gradation going in the skin on her face. There's that pink around her elbow and her knees too. That's the main one. This piece is fucking gorgeous. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. We might need to think about this one a little bit more. But at least from what I was able to glean from the work that I did, we should notate that here. Help sell what? The material. Yeah. All right, that's all I got in my head for this one for now. Constellar. I don't think there's any argument here that this is the best one. Oh God, putting them side by side. That's so. I hate this one now. This one also took me a very long time, though. But to be fair, that's a little hard to scrutinize. First of all, I spent entirely too long designing her clothes. And then I basically had to invent a new color palette. So all of the time that I normally save by using my funny little thing here of Amira's colors, I didn't get to save any of that time because like all of these colors are re-picked to match Constellar's style more closely because their colors are just so tasty, so good. Can I get Constellar's color sheet thing open? Where are they? There it is. This thing that they do. That transition color, it does it. And then they released these too, like. That's just the colors, right? But even just that, like this palette, it's so much more vibrant than what I would normally reach for. And that's an intrinsic part of their style and why it looks so dang good. But then just these transitions. Yeah. Oh, I haven't tried to use this myself yet. Oh, actually, I want you over here. I haven't tried to use this myself yet, but I found this on Twitter the other day. I want to share it with you guys because it might be useful. Where did I put it now? Ah, there it is, right. This is from someone called Gold Canines. But they made like this little thing. I think these look real nice. So I might consider either trying to use this like as a color palette or at least like scrutinize this and like try and figure out like why do these look good? Like what is the relationship between like the main color and the shadow color and the reflection? You know, how do I integrate this knowledge into like being able to make a piece with appealing colors on it? Because I think I did that here. I think I managed to make a piece with appealing colors on it here, but this was just like rubbing my brain against Constellar's art. You know, like I don't fully understand it. It's just kind of channeling what they do. I want to understand. Yeah, I'm gonna post that. Oops. Wait, shit. Open that back up. I'm gonna post this in my Discord under the I have like a tips and tools section, right? Yeah, there we go. Might try and do something with that. But yeah, all right, let's talk about this. So first of all, it took 2 streams, first ever, but looks great. Also, I'm spent on what else to say? Oh, rare treat. Where did I save it? I saved it somewhere. Is it this? Yeah, rare and elusive thing. I encourage you all out there who may be following along or looking to do your own style study. If you are lucky enough that the artist you are looking at and wanting to study and learn from has uploaded any time lapses, that's like a gold mine of like being able to see how they do things. Like it's literally like learn by watching, right? Like you're peeking over the artist's shoulder and seeing how they do things, and you can learn so much from that. After I did this study and gathered all the references from Constellor, they uploaded a time lapse. So look here, it's crazy to me. This is their time lapse. They spend almost the entire time lapse working out the pose and the features, and it's like right here. It's like the last like 10% is coloring, and that's fucking bananas for how good their coloring is. It's insane to me. But I learned something that I hadn't considered when I was studying their work. I'll point it out when we get to it here. Hey, just checking in. The check-in, man. Thank you for the check-in. I'm doing good. We're talking about art. Trying to internalize some things we learned. So first of all, yeah, look, see, they do the thing that I personally hate. Not that I hate doing this. This drives me nuts. They are manually painting in. Can I zoom video? No, apparently not. They're manually like outlining the shape and then coloring in to fill. Whereas I so strongly advocate for the like outer selection method, so that you fill it all in at once. But that drives me nuts. Not to see it done, but for me to do it myself. like this would be harming me actively as I would be doing it. How much time that takes. Yeah, see, so there's the flats. We're starting. Where's the? This video player kind of blows, gamers. I want to see the timeline. I want to see how far into the video we are. Can I not do that? What if I do that? Will the timeline stay now if I... There we go. All right. It's a little bit more. There we go. There we go. All right. That's where the first shadow shows up. It's like, so it's like the back third. All right, never mind. I guess I misremembered. And where does it happen? Right there. Man, I sure do wish I could zoom in. I can zoom in your guys' screen. That's impossible to see. You're not going to be able to see that. I'm looking at her face. The transition color between the light and shadow. I had done it as like an underlay. God damn it. Ah, let me move. There we go. So here, this is the transition color, right? I put down the shadows and then I went under the shadow layer and I did these transition color swoops. Constelor does it the other way around, where they use the transition color like how I used shadows. And they filled in the dark areas with the transition color and then put the shadow like over that, just like as like a clipping layer. So the transition colors aren't just lines. They are the entire shadow shape, and then they drew over it. With the other darker color. So yeah, you can see it there good. So see, it comes in as that kind of warm brown shadow color, and then they go over it with the dark blue. So it leaves just a little bit of that brown showing on the border. And the lights on top. That looks so nice. And they do it so fast. Ah! Hey, Astroma. Yeah, I was very excited to see a time lapse pop out. I feel like not many artists do that, and I find it fascinating to watch and very valuable to learn from. Is Lurkin still in class? All right, have a good day at school. Yeah. Anyway. Don't feel the process is very much more than previous, but much better use of time. So this is effectively 2 shadow colors, 1 highlight. And good line color. So whereas this is 1 shadow and 1 highlight with no line color. This is 1 more shadow color and line color. Like, that's not a lot to add, but it's just such a better usage of time, like a better implementation of technique than what I would do. That it's able to look so much better, and a huge part of that is the color choice. But as far as the actual rendering technique, which is what I was trying to work on here, that was the whole point of this study, it's really not a whole lot of extra work to get something that looks this good. 1 more shadow color and competently coloring the line art. That's really it. That's all that separates this from this. And this one doesn't even do the, or does it? Yeah, it does. I did do that. Just so slightly, you can't really see. Zoom in right there. So up here is like the base skin color. That's the highlight. And here's the, like, the subsurface scattering. It's a little bit more red around this highlight. So we still got the subsurface. We got the transition colors. But this is where it's implemented well. So the takeaway here is proof that subsurf, transition, and line color can look really good together. But relies on strong color choices. So as far as technique goes, saying that out loud now, I think I could make this something closer to this than I would have thought can be my regular style. Because I really don't feel like adding that extra shadow and coloring the lines is that much work. And you know what? I'm curious. Let's look. What if we took... Let's get rid of you. We took this and got rid of the line color. How much does that change? Yeah, even that, like, that still looks good. I'll give you guys the line color on, line color off, line color on, color off. I think it still definitely looks better with the line color on, but I don't think it looks awful with no line color. So if I was feeling lazy or wanted to go a little bit faster, I could just not color the lines and not lose a terrible amount of quality, I would say. Doesn't look bad without fine color. 2. Seeking to save time. That's less of a strong takeaway. That's more of a note. So what are the big takeaways here? Work on color knowledge. I'm definitely not done with that. That was by far the longest part of this study, was me trying to at least get some kind of grip on color theory before I could try and explain it to you guys. And I still feel like I've only just barely passed color theory 101. You know, like I've gotten past the introductory level knowledge. I definitely need to continue working on that going into the future. That is a big thing to work on. Work on color knowledge. This technique is not as hard as initially thought, but needs good color. And then minor note, but I do really like how it looks. Something that I did on this piece and neither of the others is I had fallen into the algorithm, the process, the steps. How would I describe that? I like the black outline, right? Let's go back over here. I like how... Ooh. Diane, you doing okay? There we go. So you can see it in her hair really clearly. We're using this like soft kind of pink warm color to outline her hair. But where her hair meets the background, it's black. So on the outside of the shape, it's got a black outline. And I like the contrast that makes between the character and the background. So normally whenever I would color line art, it was all just like the internal lines, right? So like her nose is not black anymore. It's the like brown color. Exceptions being her eyelashes and mouth they usually stay black because I want them to be really clear, because those are part of the expression, very important parts of the expression. But on this piece in particular, I still did the black outline in most places, with the exception of skin. Wherever it's her skin against the background, it's just the line color rather than being black. And I feel like that added it added something. I don't know. I like the look of that. It looks better. I don't know. My brain is too small. I guess it might make it look a little softer, which is appropriate to like contrast flesh from metal and clothing, right? Because it doesn't have a hard outline. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I like that look. That was something that I did with this piece that I didn't do with any other. So we will note that as a takeaway. Leave skin outline skin colored instead of black. What have I done? I grabbed the wrong layer. Make this more concise. I already said that it needs good color. Yeah. So how can I bring this all together? I guess let's just grab the takeaways of each piece here. Whoops. This, that, and this. Back the collage. That's Constellar's one. That's Nuxie's one. And that's that one. I wonder if they've ever, like, streamed. Have they ever said their own name out loud? Because I have no idea how to pronounce that. Let's make this text box right justified. Right. All right, can we make that a little easier to read? Work just black. Yeah. All right. So the major takeaways then. Moving forward. Still haven't broken the habit of Photoshop where I always press Shift Enter to input a line break. But in Clip Studio, that finishes the text. But in Photoshop, if you just pressed enter at the end of your text, that finishes the text. Like, it's like, oh, you're done. And it kicks you out of typing mode, right? But not in Clip Studio, it's the opposite. Never fails. Every time I want to enter a line break, I accidentally exit the text instead. Moving forward, what I want to try and implement myself into my future style. Flats plus 2 shadows, 1 transition, plus 1 highlight, plus subsurf. Let's say plus or minus deliberate line color. Work on color choice. And then some minor takeaways or things to experiment with. Try soft skin gradients like Nuxie. No gradients on line color. No auto action. Either no auto action or we need to find a different auto action. One of those two things. I struggled to believe that I would find an auto action that doesn't do that. Just with the basic knowledge of how those auto actions work. But maybe, I don't know. Anything else? Don't go overboard on post-process. We're gonna move that over here. Work on our choice. Why are we processing? There we go. Why don't we take all this? We moved that. All right, that's our notes. That's our takeaway there. Work on color choice. Damn it, I did it again. Shift enter. Always work on allocating effort better. Real Tim Follin hours. Yeah. I think that's the takeaway. Can you guys read that? Am I too far? So this is the simplification. This is the formula of what we're gonna do moving forward. So I feel pretty confident with this. So if we can just do this with one extra step, and it's just one more shadow color, and that shadow color becomes the transition. Well, 2 extra steps, possibly 2, at least 1. First extra step, transition between light and shadow. Second extra step, good line color. Oops. So we do flats. We're good at that. 2 shadows instead of 1, and then 1 highlight plus the subsurf plus the good line, but possibly plus or minus the deliberate line color. Yeah. So I hate the line color on this piece, but I love the line color on this piece. So I might want to look at Nuxie some more. I like that skin quality they have. We can experiment with that. Let's reorder this list here. Let's do all of the like actionable things at the top. And then things to keep in mind to not do the bottom. Yeah. Tablet feels weird today. Possibly because of the forced Windows update. Windows. All right. There's our collage. Should probably make this part of that folder so that if I hide that, yeah, and look at the individuals. I had a lot to say about this one. Yeah, that's a note. Did I spell necessary right? Are there two C's in there? No, I spelled it right. Yeah, that's our takeaway. I feel good about that. We have some goals for the future. We have some concrete knowledge to carry forward. So we got to figure out how to pick colors, how to make appealing colors. I'm curious if I stuck to like my own color palette with the Constellor method, like what that would look like. Can we try that? How long would that take? Ugh, I hate this now. I don't... We should write somewhere, either on here or on the document itself. Let's move you away. I spoke out loud, but I never documented. I might have to go back in my own VOD. We tried to figure out relationships between these colors, right? This color and this color. Shadow is... We need a repeatable quantity. How many degrees is that? getting a little too literal here, but this is how my brain works. It helps me. There we go. Those are our two colors there. So if we don't have to be precise, but I need a number that makes sense in my brain so that I can go back to it. So this is 90, right? That quadrant is 90. That's about 45. So the difference between these 2 points. We have, oof. We have here. And here. For crying out loud, help me. There we go. What is this arc? That's a little bit over half of 45, right? Don't look at me, I'm awful at trigonometry. That's about half, right? Right about there. So what's half of 45? 22.5. So that, what? Let's guesstimate that to be about a 30-degree angle, would you say? This would be 22. And that's another 22. It's about like a quarter of 22. Yeah, about 30. So we will record that. Shadow is about 30 degrees warmer. Warmer. As well as some degree darker. Let's do this again here. What proportion of that line? About like a sixth. see. How many segments do we get here? This obviously isn't going to be so scientific when actually implemented, but I just want a ballpark to try and remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, about a sixth. So about then the transition is half between base and shadow, and also some degree more saturated. So we do this again. And we're gonna set us to the square for saturation, so that way we have a straight axis to compare against. So we have this, we have this. Wah. Brushy. We have this. If we watch our color wheel here, okay, that's a gradual step. Actually, we didn't get more saturated there. So the shadow's more saturated. But we do that with the hair, do we not? Yes. Do that with the clothes. Yes. Hi, Mari. One color more saturated. Skin. Skin to shadow. Other to transition. I don't know if these processes are repeatable, but I wanted to notate them just in case these were relationships that we found while trying to implement this. And then what of the highlights the relationship between the base and the highlight. Is that consistent? Not necessarily. It is not. Yet. Highlight. Same hue as base. Brighter. Maybe more. Maybe more saturated. Skin does this. Hey, Scav. Math can't save you here. Yeah, that's my problem. I'm trying to logicify this so that I can remember it and have a process that I can repeat, but it's not consistent. So I don't understand how you make this choice. We'll see. We'll see in the future. Space to put that note here. There we go. That is part of this. Apologize if my note-taking style hurts you. It is not the neatest thing there ever was. How dare. What, me or Scath? That's so hard to look at. I don't like it. What, that my that my note-taking style is confusing. Hey, Tribal. Bleh. $20, good God. That's like at least 3 weeks. Yeah, I wanna rewrite this, but I wanted it to all fit on one page so that I could upload it. Like, we're just gonna cheat. We're just gonna expand our canvas. Give us another... That's a lot. That's better. There. Now we have space to actually write this properly. What do you miss? We're just talking about the results of the study here. We're analyzing what we did, things that I want to do differently, what I can take away from each of these, and what our like list of things to do for the future is to try and implement this, aggregate the knowledge and implement it in the future. Blech. All right. That's a bit easier on the brain to look at, I feel. This is quite far off topic, I feel, but I would say, as my piece of advice to you and future you, when you're taking notes, imagine you're talking to yourself. You are being explained something that you've never heard of. How do you want that explained to you? How would another individual lay out that information for you where you are 100% satisfied with how you are consuming that information? Because, like, if you read a textbook and you're like, oh man, this guy's like droning on forever about this topic, I understood it like 10 minutes ago, I don't need this much like rambling detail, you know. you can get a taste for how you absorb information right that way. Speaking from experience, your notes are for future you. The purpose of these notes is for you to go back in the future and remember what you learned about this topic. So write them for yourself. Otherwise, your notes you may find useless to you in the future. Where you're like, damn, what did I think about that topic? And then you go back and you read your own notes, and I'm like, this did not change my information at all. I don't know what the hell I was thinking back then. You know, try and make your notes useful to yourself. That's the point of these things. That's why I'm being so picky about this information and how I'm writing it here. Maybe that's obvious to you. I needed to learn that. There. Oh, wait, no. There. There we go. So there's our note sheet. And our 3 style studies. So yeah, personally, one of my least favorite ways to learn something is via text. Because I hate reading for a long time. I don't like, at least when I'm trying to get a piece of information, right? This is different than if I'm like reading a story for fun. If I'm trying to learn something, I am trying to discover a piece of information. I hate pages. It's the same feeling as Googling a question like, Blender, how to reset object rotation. And then you find a 20-minute long YouTube video where the actual solution to the question you just asked is 30 seconds of that video somewhere in the middle. You know, it's the, I feel like writing is that almost always. We're trying to scrape the bit that I'm actually looking for out of the information is like always just buried in a wall of text when it comes to trying to learn from textbooks. So I always prefer just like talking to someone who knows what they're talking about, so I can engineer the question, you know, to make sure that they understand exactly what it is that I'm trying to learn and what I'm looking for, so they can give me a concise answer that is the answer to my question, right? So I try and keep my notes as concise as possible and keep information that has to do with other information close physically to each other. So this is why I said, work on color choice. And as opposed to saying something like, get better at understanding the relationship between complementary hues and values between light, shadow, and highlight colors, right? And then that information that we gleaned from Constelor's study about the relationship between the hues and values of light, shadow, and highlight colors, I put that information embedded in that statement. You know, it's justified inward a bit, so that I can tell that that is part. This is one item, what I have highlighted here, you know? Anyway, sorry, that's rambling about note-taking. There you go. I want this to be bigger. Where's my cursor? There we go. Them some notes right there. There we are. Excuse me. When you find a YouTube tutorial that is 2 minutes long, that's the best. Yeah, it's truly a blessing when you open up a video, and I'll use that example from before. The video is just like, all right, so you got this object in Blender that's at some funky arbitrary rotation, and you want it to go back to being aligned to the grid. Here's how you do that. And I'm like, bless you. The raid that fixes all problems. 10 out of 10 raid solves all your problems. Hello, Mason. What were you up to today? Welcome, everybody. You were doing art too? What were you working on? Welcome, everybody. I'm Batbug Doodles. Today's ScribbleSupport, my weekly art show where we try and learn art together. We are discussing what we learned about render style. We picked 3 artists here. These are their names at the bottom here. We picked 3 artists to try and copy the style of, because I like these 3 artists and I wanted to try and figure out what it is about them that I like. And we have things to say about all of these and an overall takeaway. We kind of just finished. We were kind of just wrapping up our analysis of what we went over. We're fixing the errors that stemmed from asymmetry asset problems on Julie's TTS creature. Asymmetry asset problems. Just problems that arise from working on a subject that is not symmetrical. Jelly Boy, yeah, the little jelly fella. I'm excited for Julie's whole rework. It's gonna be very cool to see. But yeah, this is what we discovered, you know, and yeah, let's get Old Awful back on here. So this is the series of events, right? This is something I rendered in the middle of the art study. Look at that awful thing. I hate it now. Versus our first style study on, or not style, render study on, however you pronounce this name. Dekai? How do you, however you pronounce the J? This one? Simple style, one shadow, one highlight, a little bit of subsurface scattering, mostly just flat colors. This one, which is my least favorite of the bunch, lots of stuff to say about that one. Here's what it looks like without all of the post-processing on. I feel like it works a lot better without the line color and such. Yeah. And then Constellar. Easily my favorite one. Much more vibrant, much better color choices. The head of the creature was asymmetrical in its angle, but I had previously tried to make it symmetrical, so it ended up breaking. Let's see. He is silent, probably. So what would this be? Kaj? K? I don't know. Help me, I'm stupid. Yeah, so this one, hands down, best one. Easy peasy. Constellar's art is delicious. I want to eat. Tasty art. Let's get some Constellar on the screen. There you go. Look at it. Everything's so goddamn tasty looking. Eat the colors. Oh, the Zelda one. It's not Zelda. I forgot her name. It's like Hilda. Dark World Zelda. Mirror Zelda. Anybody know her name? I don't remember. Yeah. Definitely helped steer me in a direction as far as being able to choose better colors, I feel. We're going to work on that in the future. But definitely solidified the process of this, like, transition between light and shadow color. Zeldark? Yeah, definitely. It's definitely that. The transition color. This thing. I like that a lot. And, try to figure out the relationship between the colors themselves. Like, why is this the shadow color of this color? You know, we're gonna work on that in the future. Ugh, just putting those next to each other. Like, ugh, I hate this one now. Anyway. So this one, I feel it is a high value proposition in that it offers a lot of visual interest for not a lot of effort. It works without line color, which is something that takes a long time. One shadow color, one highlight, that's it. Nice and simple, very effective. I like that one. This one, I really don't feel like I hit the style that I was aiming for. And it's weird. I think this is the fastest turnaround I've ever experienced as far as really liking my art to really not liking my art. Because I was really happy with this when I finished it, but now looking back at it after doing this one, these are sequential. I did this one on the left and then I did this one on the right. So I did one art piece and then immediately started hating this one. Don't feel like I hit the style I was aiming for, but we still learned something. Some things. I definitely like because this doesn't have it, right? It's just light and shadow, or flat and shadow, right? This, I tried to do that transition thing. and I do like it, but I didn't do it well here. I did it much better here. So this at least shows me I thought I might like this, and this proved that I do. So moving forward, we're definitely going to keep that transition thing. And this proves to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that I hate this line color. We used like we used an auto action to do that and then cleaned it up, and I still hate it. So we should do it from scratch. I don't like gradients on my lines. I think that's the main takeaway. So we are not going to use that auto action anymore. We're going to learn how to pick those colors manually and do them that way. Excuse me. Back. 2.5 hours of doing nothing but talking is causing me damage. So yeah, while I don't like this very much, it's still valuable for knowledge. I like the shape plenty, like the actual design and the line work of this piece. I'm definitely okay with that. But the rendering of this, which was the point, not high marks on that. But we can always learn from failure. Failure is much more information dense than success. But there you go. That's what success looks like to me, at least in my opinion, at this given moment in history. I may feel differently next week. Oh yeah, and the subsurface scattering, which is the slight warmness seeping through the skin. Excuse me, where the light is hitting it. That's the light going into the skin and bouncing around a little bit and coming back out, taking on the red hue of the flesh underneath. Yeah, so we're working with subsurface scattering. Still one shadow, one highlight, but with the addition of the transition line. And we might try experimenting a little bit more with this in the future to try and get a little closer to the style that we were actually aiming for. Then over here, this is the proof that I like this style a lot. So, subsurface scattering, the transition, and the line color can look really good together, but relies heavily on strong color choices. So that's our major takeaway, is I need to get better at color, which is something I knew already, but it's concrete now. The technique itself is not nearly as hard as I may have thought. Just looking at it, like looking at Constelor's work and being like, wow, that's gorgeous. That must be very difficult and take a long time. No, not really, actually. It's just very wise. It's very experienced and skilled use of said technique. But the technique itself is actually not that difficult. It's just one more shadow color. So 2 shadow colors, 1 highlight color with the subsurface scattering and competently done line color. Yeah. So all of that just hinges on being able to choose those colors. But the act of laying them down is a lot more simple than I thought. And then the only minor takeaway we have from this, something that I did differently, is instead of the black outline around the outside, I still do that, but not on the skin specifically. The skin's outer line is not made black. And that just adds a little something to it, I feel. I like that, and I'm going to continue to do that in the future. So yeah, there's our overall notes. That's our takeaway paragraph. So we're going to move ahead with the flat colors, 2 shadows, 1 transition, the 1 highlight, subsurface, and deliberate line color. No auto action anymore. We might try to work with some softer skin gradients, because I like how Nuxie did that, and I feel like that might be the major thing that I missed about their style when I was trying to mimic it. But overall, work on color choice. This is the process, or as much as I could distill from Constellar, as far as how to pick the shadows, transitions, and highlights based on what the base color is. And then some things to keep in mind. Always work on allocating effort better. Because I tend to get caught on things that ultimately don't have a huge impact on the piece. I need to stop wasting so much time on those things. Because the ever-increasing problem of these 3 styles is this one I think I did in about 6 or 7 hours. This one took 10.5, and this one took 2 streams. So this one is like around 20 hours of work on this one. I would like that to come down to like 4. So yeah, keep in mind, allocate your time effectively. This is me speaking to myself. Don't do gradients on line color. I don't like how that looks. We're not going to do that anymore. So that means we're not going to use that auto action. We might search for a new auto action or just nix it altogether and try and get fast at doing it ourselves. And don't go overboard with post-processing. Because this... Can we do that comparison again? Yeah. These 2 next to each other. I feel like the extra warmth and lighting, it kind of dragged all the colors a bit closer together. The values aren't as good. It's making it muddier to just have that effect on. I think it works in the actual piece because it's got a background and everything, and all that post-processing serves to kind of bring her into the scene. There we are. But without the context of the completed piece, I don't like all that extra stuff. It just kind of, it takes away from the clarity of the thing. And ruins the contrast and the values a bit. So keep in mind not to go too hard with post-processing elements like that in the future. Should be at the very top. I want her to be part of this, just for the comparison of what this work has done for me. Let's put her right there. Yeah. There we go. And with practice, you'll get the time down. Yeah, but that was the major thing that I wanted from this style study, is to know what to practice. That's why we did this. I wanted to be able to pick out what I like about these artists so that I know what I want to latch onto. What topic do I need to delve more into? What elements do I put in the blender to make my smoothie, right? this gives me targets to shoot for. That's why we did this. So yeah, the future is we have derived a formula, more or less, of what to implement here. So now we need to practice that implementation. So I have created minimalized rendered, minimalized colorized subjects to work on. And that looks like this. Yeah, I can't really zoom in, huh? So these are all the major pieces that we did for the Scribble supports that have not already been finished, quote unquote. They're not fully rendered. So from beginning to end, these are in order, in the order of creation. We may not do all these on stream. I might do some of them on Doodle Day. It kind of depends on how long it takes me to get through them. But my ultimate goal here is, now that we have derived some knowledge of style and how we want to implement it, these are what we practice that style on. And I would hope that by the end of this, the 9th image here, we would have something that I consider my style. But regardless of whether or not I feel completed by the time we get to the end here, my desired output here is these images coupled with the few that we have rendered here will form a timeline of the entire StyleStudy from beginning to end. And that way we can line them up chronologically and see our development over these 20 some odd weeks that we've been working. And I'm excited to see how that looks. I want to see the, protozoa to ape, like evolutionary line of my art over the course of this study. I think that will be really fun to analyze. Yeah, so that's plans for the future. And now I am conflicted as to whether or not we start that right now, because my throat hurts. And I've been going for 3 hours. 3 hours is, I consider, a short stream, but I don't know if I got it in me to go much longer. I'm a little disappointed at that, but I have not found a way to soothe myself when my throat gets in this state, other than drinking Dr. Pepper, weirdly enough. But I have been doing that this entire time that I've been talking, and yet still I am scratchy and suppressing coughing. So I think we will call it early for today. We may start on this tomorrow, though. We might work on some of this on Doodle Day, just because I don't want to be going on this topic for another 10 weeks. I think we're gonna... Doodle! Doodle redeem. What would you like for your doodle? One existing character with easy to find references. Those are my rules. Bridget? Bridget? Where's my paper? Doodle. I still have a doodle redeem on here that I've not done. It's Tribal's one. Sorry, Tribal. I've not wanted to think about Hunt Showdown for a while. And I've been very busy with re-debut stuff. You'll get it eventually. I commit to no time deadline with these doodle redeems. Bridget. All right. Yeah, so that's our plans for the future. We may do... In fact, I dare say probably. We will probably do some of these not on Fridays. I might do some of them on my own time, just when I feel, like in the middle of the week. I may do some of these on Doodle Days. And if I go back a couple of folders, you'll see some stuff that I can't show on Twitch because we did a couple of pieces that we can't show here. And I do still want to finish those as well. So that might be another pixel stream, possibly on Doodle Day. We'll see. So we have 9 pieces in there. We have 2 other pieces that are nude. They're not like, you know, pornography or anything, but still can't show it on Twitch. It's figure drawings. And I do still want to finish those. So we have 11 pieces for the near future to work on. And that will be scattered about, but rest assured, wherever it happens, wherever the process happens, I will still be saving time lapses, and I will still be uploading the pieces to my Discord. So if you want to follow that process, joining the Discord is the best way to do so. And if any of you out there, current or in the future, decide to embark on a journey like this yourself, I would love to see your work if you want to share. Yes. Every day we mourn the death of artistic... The immediate murder of the tiny inch that Twitch gave us by people who are fucking stupid. Anyway, yes. I think we're gonna wrap up here because I am suppressing the urge to cough my lungs out. Who can we drop on today? Got a couple people doing art. You know, I generally like to stay on topic. Couple people doing events though, and I like raiding into events. How long have these been going for? Decisions are hard. We're gonna go to this one. This is a previous ScribbleSupport guest. You all probably know her. I like her art a lot. I've not seen her in a while. I think she's normally not streaming when I end because she has a human sleeping schedule. And she just started less than an hour ago. So we're going to go check out Goblin Pudding. Say hey to a ScribbleSupport guest that we've not seen in a while. So, grab this here raid message. Da pud, yeah. Grab this here raid message. If you don't have my emotes, do feel free to substitute your own. I will be on Discord tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, same time that this stream started. And we'll probably start either on one of those doodle redeems or on implementation of this style. So if you want to hang out and doodle along, I invite you to the treehouse. Come hang out and enjoy. I like sharing art. Yeah. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your time zone. Sorry it's a little bit short today, but my voice really hurts. We're gonna spread this art out. Fuck me. Anyway, yeah. Have a good night, everyone. I will see you tomorrow on the Discord. And next week, Monday, for games. We're gonna play another game on Monday. See y'all then. Goodbye.